Middle East has, it's a very interesting region, not because I am from the Middle East, but if you look at the financial world and fintech in specific, you find big themes, right? So you have the financial inclusion, you have KYC and the AML and all these risk management tools or compliance tools. You also have other themes like remittances, from east to west, and the Middle East is just in the middle. And all these are the core themes and the pillars of fintech. Okay, so the world and our region has been suffering from the unbanked, and that 80% of adults in the Middle East have no access to banking. Okay, that's a big unbanked population, and governments are doing are coming up with a lot of initiatives to work on sustainability and the SDGs and the financial inclusion. Fintech comes and bridges that gap and brings finance through technology to everybody around the world. And so what's happening now is regulators and governments are realizing the importance of fintech in these areas, realizing the importance of fintech in the KYC space, realizing the importance of fintech and blockchain in anti-money laundering and how they can conquer crime, cybercrime. So in this space, governments started first. They started to create this positive environment for startups to work. They created the sandboxes. They created like regulatory labs. So that's the first positive move that happened in the Middle East. And then you have banks. Banks are looking around and seeing how other banks are behaving and how jobs are getting shut down because they're redundant, and they're looking at the future. And they don't want the Kodak moment. No one wants the Kodak moment, right? No one wants to be left behind. Okay, so it's not like, even if they're not convinced, they want to do whatever it takes to stay in the game. And you have startups. What do startups need? They need an environment where they can operate, they can get licensed, and they can have an office. They also need funding. And they need the support they need the market, right? They need to do business. And all these three are now available or getting available to startups. The only thing that's still not yet up to our expectations is the VC and the angel investors. They still treat startups as if they're, number one, they don't understand each other. Number two, there's a lot of background checks and due diligence that happens and takes a long time. And startups can't afford to wait 3-4 months to get the funding. So maybe one day we'll have more funding coming to startups and supporting them in the growth to maturity phase.